Welcome to the CAD Office Training Guide series for F.Connect. I'm Matt Sexton, CAD Application Support Coordinator. Today, I'll be going through the F.CAD Essentials for Open Roads Designer Connect Edition Training Guide. In this video series, I'll take you step by step through each exercise from the guide. Today, we'll be going through Chapter 4. Let's begin. Chapter 4 focuses on the use of models and incorporating them into the F.dot environment. Topics include model properties, F.dot's use of models, the models dialog, and creating a model. Open Roads Designer offers many features designed to facilitate the production of engineering information. One of the most beneficial of these is models. Not to be confused with modeling or 3D models, the models referred to in this chapter are like containers within a DGN file. A design file is composed of models. When users draw or place elements in a design file, the elements are added to the active model. A model can be either 2D or 3D and is stored within the design file. When a design file is created from a seed file, an empty container setup is provided with a default model ready to create a design. If a 2D seed file is used, then the default setup is 2D, while a 3D seed file defaults to a 3D setup. Unlike a sheet of drafting paper, the design plane in a design file is extremely large and allows the user to draw models at full scale. To draw various elements in a model, the user enters data points. Each data point placed in the design plane has an associated X and Y position, or coordinates. The design plane is simply a Cartesian coordinate system upon which a model resides. Each model also contains its own unique set of properties. Each model has its own set of 8 views. The model whose views are displayed or are available for display at any given time is the active model. There are 3 types of models: design model, sheet model, and drawing model. Design models are model space in which the design is drawn and consists of design geometry, which can either be 2D or 3D. A design model can also be used as a reference or placed as a cell. In Open Roads Designer, an unlimited number of design models can be created in a design file. By default, the view windows of these models have a black background, as you can see in this design model. The second type of model are sheet models. They're used by F.dot to compose finished and annotated printable drawings. Open Roads Designer allows an unlimited number of sheet models to be created in a design file. By default, the view windows of these models have blue backgrounds. One way to distinguish a sheet model from other types of models is the bracketed notation sheet in the model name. There's also a sheet icon to the left. The third type of model is a drawing model. Drawing models are a subset of a 2D or 3D design model used to apply annotations, dimensions, callouts, and other embellishments to a design. By default, the view windows of these models have a gray background. Let's discuss F.dot's use of models. F.dot has implemented the use of models for combining dependent data into a single design file on a specific limited basis. Each type of model is used for its intended purpose. One example of this is the plan sheets. You'll notice the default model is used for the design. It's a design model. You have your line work that has been referenced in. If you look at the drawing model, like we said before, that's a subset of the design model for adding additional annotation or embellishments. And then that is referenced into the sheet model. These models were created using the named boundary tool, but in other cases, additional models are created from the seed file or from additional actions caused by the create file tool. One example of that is the alignment file. During the process of creating an alignment file, the create file tool does create additional models inside that file. So the plan sheet, you create additional models through the named boundary tool. And in the alignment file, those additional models are created automatically. So let's talk about the models dialog. When a design file is created, it has a built-in default design model described as the master model ready to place elements. You can see this here, default model in the models dialog. The models dialog contains several tools to allow the user to create, modify, and manage models. Let's talk about those. The Create Model button on the toolbar brings up the Create Model dialog. The Copy Model tool allows you to copy an existing model, to make a copy of an existing model. The Edit Model Properties dialog allows you to view and edit the properties of the selected model. The Import Models button allows you to import models from another design file. And of course, the Delete Models button allows you to delete a model, delete the selected model from the dialog. Bear in mind, the default model is present in every design file and cannot be deleted. The Define Sheet Layout button works for sheet models only. It opens the Define Sheet Layout dialog, which allows you to set the display status and define the size, origin, and rotation of your sheet layout parameters. And the List filter, if on, displays a filter row in the list box that allows for defining a filter for any list of columns. And of course, the List box. The List box portion of the dialog lists the models in the OpenDGN file. As I alluded to before, an icon displays next to the model, which indicates whether the model is 2D or 3D. Double-clicking on the model makes it the active model. The model name and description can be edited by triple-clicking on the selected model name in the list box. To copy, delete, or adjust properties of the model, it must first be selected. The columns displayed in the list box can be customized by right-clicking on the title row. So for example, just like in Windows File Explorer, if you don't want to see certain columns, you can check and uncheck them. Creating model. Working with design models, the user can create one or more discrete models within a design file and move between various models using the Models dialog. Where a design file contains many models, filters can be set to display only particular models. But filters are not saved from one design session to the next. The user can create sheet models to compose design drawings, which typically consist of references of the design models. References can be from the Open Design file or from other design files. As the design models, the user can switch between sheet models using the Models dialog. In OpenRoads Designer, the Plans Development Workflow discusses sheet model creation using the named boundary tools. So for more information, see the Plans Development Workflow Training Guide. The drawing models are the intermediates between the design model and the printable sheet model. It is an unbound gray space that contains one or more views of the design model. The drawing model can be used for centralizing annotations that need to be shared across multiple sheets. When a drawing model is attached to a sheet, the drawing model's annotation scale is used as the attachment's default detail scale. FDOT supports the use of all three types of these models for various purposes. And again, for more information, please see the Plans Development Workflow Training Guide. We're looking here at the Create Model dialog. Just to briefly cover a few things. When creating models in a design file, the user has the option to specify whether or not that model can be placed as a cell. If this option is turned on, the model can be referenced as a model or placed as a cell within another model. When referencing a model, the link to the original is maintained and any modifications to the original will be reflected in the reference. When a model is placed as a cell, the link to the original is removed. Also reviewing other aspects of the Create Model dialog. This is where you select what type of model you're creating, Design from Seed, which allows you to specify the seed file, Drawing from Seed, again, allowing you to specify the seed file, or Sheet from Seed. If you use the settings up here, Design, Drawing, and Sheet, without being from Seed, it creates those models based on the settings of the active design file, which are based on the settings of the seed file from which that design file was created. This shows the seed model. You have an option to enter the name, description, and a logical name. Set the line style scale, set the annotation scale, and here is again the checkbox for placing it as a cell or not. And as mentioned in the previous chapter, the checkbox for creating a view group for the new model. Exercise 4.1, creating models manually. In this exercise, we'll be creating a sheet model. The first step is to select the Models dialog under the primary group on the Home tab of the Open Roads Modeling workflow. Select the Create a New Model, select Sheet from Seed, name it Untitled, put in a description, and a reference logical name. Now let's go ahead and take a look at our available sheet seeds. You see in the delivered seeds, we have the F.sheet seed and the drawing seed. So let's select the sheet seed. Now we can select a size, go with NCB, okay, that'll be 11 by 17. All these other settings are good. We don't want to place it as a cell because it is a sheet. And we'll create a view group. Click OK. You can see that an untitled sheet has been added to our models dialog. We move that out of the way. We do see that it has applied the F.title block and border, and that there is a view group created for that model. So that is how to create a sheet model. Thank you for joining me today for the CAD Office Training Guide series for F.Connect. This was Chapter 4, Models from the F.CAD Essentials for Open Roads Designer Connect Edition.